It's that time again here. We're getting into the highlights from week 3 of the CG Open Invite Season 3. And honestly, we got some phenomenal games in here. We've got some Blue Eyes, we got some Plunder Patrol, we got some Thunder Dragons. We got everything in here, to be honest, this week. And it was really, really good. And a lot of the matches were really close. We're going to have the scores up at the end, and of course we're going to be showing the best duel from each match of the round. If you yourself want to get involved in this tournament, or if you just want to get involved with the Discord in general, the community, get chatting, get talking, get asking questions, as it says above, join the Discord. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's free information. People just want to sit around, have a chat, throw ideas at each other, have fun. And I mean, again, how can you pass that up? You can only win. The Discord's getting bigger and bigger. I think it's over 120 members at the minute, which is awesome. Again, way more support than I could ever deserve. So it is really, really cool to see people having a lot of fun in there. It's very relaxed as well. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, I would advise you do so. You know, we do deck profiles, we do streams, we do stuff every single day. So you might as well get involved, you know? It doesn't cost you anything. Helps me out. Helps you out. Everybody wins. Let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, we've got Rainstriver versus ICU Crystal Beast up against Eldritch. Let's see how the brand new Crystal Beast support holds up against the Golden Lord. Going for the Crystal Bond here, grabbing the Pegasus and setting the Rainbow Dragon from the deck here. Running multiple copies of it, which is pretty interesting. We're going to play a Pegasus directly from the deck, grabbing a Rainbow Dragon. The Pegasus then, of course, is negated. But the second Pegasus is not. Placing a third Pegasus onto the field here. We're going to use our Crystal Heart, popping a card to search our deck for Crystal Mirage, playing that Cruvali on our Mirage face down. That gives us a decent amount of protection here while shutting down the graveyard. That's going to be hugely important against Eldritch in particular here. We are going to be summoning a Golden Lord directly from the deck, and we're simply going to set 4 cards and pass. Now, we're not going to be using the Eldritch Golden Lord's effect from the hand, curiously enough. We're going to go for our Rainbow Bridge here of the Heart. We're going to pop the Pegasus to grab another card from the deck. We're going to go Seal's Pitch, grabbing Reasoning off of the deck here, which Reasoning is a very powerful card here. Awakening, summoning out the Carbuncle from the deck. Carbuncle then going to summon out 2 Pegasus, but they're going to respond with Forbidden Droplet, but he did not discard a trap card, meaning Crystal Miracle can in fact negate the Droplet and destroy it. So Carbuncle's effect will get popped, but its effect will resolve, which will result in the summoning of both itself as well as one of the Pegasus, of both of the Pegasus, apologies. That's going to trigger off the bridge to bounce a card back to hand, as well as the effect of the Pegasus here to set a Crystal Beast card directly into the Spell and Trap card zone. There's the Cobalt Eagle. Now we're going to go Battle Phase here, swinging in with our Pegasus just so we can use the effect of the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon to summon itself, beating over the Golden Lord, and then swinging directly for 1800. So it's a bit of a war of attrition here, generally sort of bouncing cards back, resummoning, destroying, controlling the board. Necro Valley helping shut down a lot of the Golden Lord's plays. We're going to go Reasoning, level 4 being selected. Of course, playing the Golden Lord, we're playing level 10s here, so we're able to summon out the Golden Lord himself without any hassle. However, the Golden Lord in the graveyard is negated, so he's unable to special summon himself back to the field here. Pegasus then setting itself onto the field, bouncing a card back to the hand. Not that it has very much impact, but that is just fine. We're going to go Rainbow Bridge of the Heart yet again here. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, popping a card and searching the deck for Crystal Conclave. Then Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is going to bounce the Golden Lord back to the hand here before Awakening of the Crystal Beast reveals the Sacred Beast, the Rainbow Dragon to summon out the Carbuncle, and which will then resurrect the 2 Crystal Beasts in the back row. Phoenix here, I'm stumbling over all my words already. Phoenix here, popping a back row before linking off into Nightmare Unicorn here. Nightmare Unicorn, the Royal Rare, discarding a card to spin the remaining Spell and Trap card back to the deck. Access Code Talker coming out, boosting itself up to 5300, 53 plus 3k. That is over 8000 damage, and that is game. Easy to observe from the Crystal Beast. That was a 2-0 victory to Rainstriver. Very well performed here, bringing new support to the forefront of the event. Love to see it. I'm definitely going to be experimenting a lot with this particular Crystal Beast strategy going forward. I was chatting a lot with Rainstriver about the deck and sort of where to go with it from a control perspective, and 100% that seems to be where we need to go with the deck. But either way, very well played from both contestants. Alrighty, you're gonna like this one. A matchup between myself and NT07, Blue Eyes versus Punk Thunder Dragons. Now, this was a matchup you're going to look at this hand here. Our opponent just plays 2 level 8s, and they simply pass turns. Well, I didn't know what was going on. You're looking at the face downs. I didn't know what those were at the time. We're going to go Ogre Dance here. Ogre Dance discarding itself to grab us the Zeoman directly from the deck. Zeoman then paying 600 life points, grabbing us a Foxy Tune. Now, this is going to be an incredible turn 1 for us. Foxy Tune dropping itself and a Roar to summon out the Deer Note. Now we're going to go into the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler, mill 5, gonna trigger off the Deer Note as well to resummon the level 8 from the graveyard, so we're getting a ton of advantage here. Deer Note resummoning out the Ogre Dance before the Magical Dragon pitches a Kelbeck, first of all, which is awesome. So we're gonna get some advantage out of that, grabbing a White Dragon Wyvern Burster as well to trigger off the Roaring Graveyard, which is sick. We're gonna trigger our opponent's White Stone of Legend, grabbing them a Blue Eyes, but that's whatever. We're going to summon out the Zombie Vampire now. Zombie Vampire detaching the material, milling 4, summoning 1. We're going to summon out the Thunder Dragon Dark that we milled, which is again amazing. Summoning out Ghost Ogre off of E-Telly, banishing a Thunder Dragon Roar to summon out the Wyvern Burster, summoning another Dark from the deck before linking off into Cross Sheep. That's going to trigger Dark in the graveyard to search our deck for a Thunder Dragon card, as well as our Wyvern Burster to search our deck for the Black Dragon Collapsible. Just search, 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 add, mill, mill, mill. That's the way the deck goes. We're going to add Hawk to hand here. Hawk's going to discard to summon out the Banished Roar, tributing off our Dark to summon out Colossus to the Cross Sheep Zone. Now that's going to afford us the ability to resurrect a level 4 or lower monster. Kelbeck coming back to the field, allowing us to link off into the Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn targeting the face down Successor Soul to spin back into the deck. An unfortunate hit for us here. They are going to attempt stopping or tributing, our Colossus, but we do have the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring to slow that play down. So our Colossus is safe. So we're feeling pretty confident here. We're going to go Chaos Ruler, and I believe at this point we decide that we should be relatively safe. I do actually misplay here quite heavily. I swing with Colossus. Oh no, I don't misplay. Yes, no, that's fine. We should have probably gone into the Punisher to stop that from happening, but we didn't. Here we are. We are going to go into the Punisher now, though. But the Blue Eyes is unaffected for the turn, so that was completely stupid. I don't know why I did that. There was the misplay I was mentioned. Chaos Space is going to draw us into the Maxi, which is incredible. They're going to summon the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon during the end phase because of our own effect, so we did sort of screw up a little bit on that one. We've given our opponent all the resources they need to win this game. We're going to go Max Seed to try and punish them for attempting to summon during the turn here, which is at the very least something we can do. Dictator of the... we're basically just going to get drawing. They're going to go all the way here. They're going to try and resurrect the Blue Eyes from the graveyard. We're going to bounce back all the Blue Eyes plus our Chaos... our Thunder Dragon Colossus back into the decks. That's going to stop the Dictator of D. They're going to go into the battle phase, and they're simply going to Raigeki us, to which we had no protection. Thunder Dragon Roar is going to summon out another Roar from the deck in defense mode to try and protect us even a little bit. They're going to swim with Dictator first of all to lower their life points, so now they are lower than us, bouncing the Punisher back to our deck before swinging directly with the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Going to the end phase here and then passing back to us. We just really need to draw a good card here. We draw in the Foxy Tune. We're going to go Chaos Space here, banishing it to bounce back the White Dragon Wyvern Burster to hopefully draw into something useful. We draw Imperm, which is not what you like to see here. We're going to summon out Zeoman from the deck, drawing 2, discarding 2, but one of them was a Guido, which gives us a little bit of potential, but unfortunately I don't think it was nearly enough here. We're going to bounce a few cards back into the deck here off of Mudora, and we're simply going to end turn. There's nothing we can do about this. Moving back to our opponent's turn, the only thing we can hope and pray for is that they don't have the materials they need to summon anything. They're going to try and bring back the Chaos Max. We're going to quickly banish that Chaos Max before they can do so, on the off chance we may get an extra turn out of this duel. We just need to wait and see, basically. They are going to Exceed Summon into Galaxy Eye Zephyr Dragon, into the Full Armor Photon Dragon, detaching material, popping Zeoman, and swinging directly for game. There you go. That is a pure Blue Eyes deck shutting down a crazy board like that. You can't be mad at it, you know, when it happens like that. That was actually a 2-0 victory to NTO7 here. So again, really well played in both games. It's hard to open as good as that with Blue Eyes, you know what I mean? That was a crazy game because we didn't brick. We played our hearts out. We maybe didn't play as optimally as I would have liked. In hindsight, going into the Punisher to try and banish the back row first before the battle phase would have been wise, but we didn't. I just figured it was going to be game over, to be perfectly honest. And I was wrong, and I got punished for it. There you go. Don't underestimate Blue Eyes. Alrighty, so we've got Row versus Kaiba Grouper here. We got Branded Zombies versus Dark Magician Girls, which is pretty interesting here. We're going to go Lubellion here off the bat. This is going to be a very difficult one here for our spellcasters to win. We're going to be sending the Banshee to the graveyard off of the Lubellion's effect here, activating Zombie World directly from the deck. Now, the reason that's such a problem is the Silent Magician, which is the crux really of this deck, needs to tribute a spellcaster monster. Because Zombie World is changing everything on the field to zombies, that means they can't actually summon the Silent Magician. That's a bit of a problem. We are going to bring out the Chang-Chi from the graveyard. Chang-Chi pitching the Glow Up Bloom, banishing itself to summon the Ballard Rock directly from the deck. This is already looking like a wrap, I'm going to be honest with you. Jack-a-Bolon then discarding the Mizuki to summon itself out to the field. Normal summoning Alibur, the Jester of Despia, grabbing a Branded Fusion for follow-up on the following turn. Let's see if Magician Girls can make a comeback happen. Drawing into Double Berry is going to make this very, very difficult here. Activating its effect, getting negated here by Doom King Ballard Rock, stopping it in its tracks. Unfortunately, we've got no choice but to set one and pass, and that's going to leave us open to be easily picked off here by our zombies. Again, not really very much to talk about here. Berry Magician Girl getting negated once again, swinging in with Ballard Rock, Chang-Chi, and finally the Mirror Jade. Just a quick reminder of how brutally powerful branded zombies can be. We've been seeing a lot of Ishizu zombie and Punk zombies on the channel recently, and this basically was the original major zombie deck that we showed off, the branded zombies. Just bringing us back to remind ourselves how powerful they were. It was a 2-1 victory here to our Kaiba Grouper. Very well done though. All three games were good, although this last one here was just a complete blowout. Just a reminder of how powerful that deck is. Alrighty, so we've got Silmil versus Yeetus here. Violence up against Code Talkers. So we're going to go Sign Up Mining here, ditching our Radiator for a Lady Debug. Lady Debug then grabbing our Code Generator directly from the deck here. We're going to use Lady Debug and Microcoder to go into our Code Talker. Our Violence player here has no hand traps. They have no way of interrupting this. And with the Signet Codec, this is about to pop off. We're going to use Code Talker and Code Generator to go into the Transcode Talker here. Transcode Talker being able to use Signet Codec to search the deck for an Earth Cyberse monster. I'm tripping over my words like crazy today. We're going to be sending Dawnkeeper to the graveyard off of our Code Generator as well. Dawnkeeper reviving itself after adding the Ignister to our hand. Transcode Talker is going to revive the Code Talker from the graveyard before we summon out Gitchiri. Now we're going to link summon into Decode Talker Heat Soul. Decode Talker Heat Soul allowing us to draw an additional card here before linking off into the Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon being the least summoned ace monster out of any of the anime boss monsters, only appearing 5 times in the Vrian's anime. Bringing back the Decode Talker Heat Soul back to the field here. Now that is not a co-linked monster with the Firewall Dragon, so we still only get the bounce 1, but that's still somewhat impactful here considering our Firewall Dragon cannot be targeted, and we get to draw an additional card. We have our Omni Negate here in the form of the Signet Conflict, so again, not the most oppressive board in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh, but definitely got a couple of negates going on here. Activating Shinomi here, Shinomi summoning herself out to the field then. You've got the Buster Baron summoning itself out as well. Baron's going to move the Shinomi. Shinomi now is going to get negated and banished by the Signet Conflict. Now that's a bit of a problem here for our Violence. That is going to slow them down a good bit here, but we do have the Mad Marquis. Mad Marquis then summoning itself out to the field, activating its effect to roll a dice and check the top of, basically, check the number of cards on top of their deck equal to the roll, and they get to add any Violence monster among them to the hand. We get to grab the Field Spell, which will activate the other Field Spell to the opponent's Field Spell zone. Now we're going into Beyond the Pendulum here. Beyond the Pendulum, paying 1200 to search our deck for Kaiden Kendo's Spirit, which they can then use as a skill 9, allowing them to link Pendulum summon out anything between 1 and 9. So 2 through 8 they get summoned. They're going to summon out Hojo, Violence Buster Baron, and the Violence Mad Marquis. I hope I'm saying that right. I might be saying that wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what it says though. We're going to go Beyond the Pendulum here, popping 2 of the cards here. That is fine. I think you protect it from targeting. Do you target? I don't think you target it. Let me see here. You can target 2 cards in the field. Yeah. Okay, so you have to target, which is fine. That means that these cards could not be targeted and thus could not be destroyed. We are, however, going to bring out the Nightmare Unicorn. Unicorn still not being able to target, shuffling back the field spell, which is an interesting play here. We're going to go Viscount here before linking off into the Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker now being able to boost itself up to 5300, banishing a Link monster from the graveyard, popping the Transcode Talker, linking off into Verte Anaconda. Now Verte Anaconda paying 2000 life points to bring out DPE, the Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. The Phoenix Enforcer popping a card, popping the Firewall Dragon, or at least it would if it wasn't protected by, I believe it's protected by Gachiri, right? It was protected by something. I'm pretty sure it was the Gachiri. We'll have to check afterwards. Okay, but the DP then swinging for... We're bringing Code Talkers all the way down to 200 life points. What a turn from our Valence. Completely shifting that around here. We top deck in the Signet Conflict. We already have Lady Debug in hand, so we're going to use our Signet Mania, grabbing us a Cyber's Gadget. Normal summoning the Gadget to revive the Microcoder. Now that's a pretty hefty play. We are going to be putting a stop to that by popping the Microcoder off of our DPE. We're going to link one into Lingaribo. That's going to trigger our Cyber's Gadget, summoning out a token, and so it begins. Bringing out the Code Talker Inverted, utilizing the Access Code Talker from our opponent in order to use Inverted's effect. Very, very smart. We're going to use Inverted and Microcoder going into the Shooting Code Talker. Who even knew this card existed? We're going to grab another copy of the Signet Codec directly from the deck to the hand before linking off into Access Code Talker yet again. And now we've got another Access Code Talker on the field here, boosting itself up to 5300, searching the deck for a Dark Monster. We're going to grab Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, adding it to our hand. Of course, we don't need to worry about summoning it. We're just using it as basically a free search. After we pop the access code, we're going to pop the Predaplant Verte Anaconda, and just like that, 5300 directly for game. God damn. Very, very, very close match there, all the way down to 200 life points. I don't know if there was a play in there that could have been done differently to help with that, to bring that even closer to being game over. I'm not a big sort of Valence player, so if there was anything in there, again, feel free to throw it in the comments so that we can get it fed back. But that was a phenomenal game on both sides. It was a 2-0 victory to Silmill. Very, very well done. Already getting into our match between Seymour Butts and Devixel here. Devixel then unfortunately not opening up the strongest here, basically just T-setting and passing over to our Plunder Patrol. Foolish Burial then sending their Water Enchantress of the Temple to the graveyard. Enchantress and of course the Plunder Patrol is working hand in hand very well, but then Ash Blossom is going to be bringing a preemptive end to the Enchantress play. We do, however, have Triple Tactics talent here, which we're going to be able to use to look at the opponent's hand and ditch one of their cards, dropping the Fluffle Penguin, putting it back into the deck. We're playing an awful meaty deck here at 60 cards, so it's not exactly surprising that we didn't open up the strongest. We're going to go Blackbeard, attacking the face down, but unironically being a little bit too small to get over it. But we are going to be able to bring out our Synchro monster, the Bran, banishing the back row card, drawing into the Black Eyes, taking out the Edge Chain. However, that is actually going to grab the Fright for Patchwork. Was that the smartest idea in the world? Probably not. I probably would have just left it there, to be honest with you, considering we knew what his last remaining card was. But now being able to grab Fright for Patchwork and another Edge Chain is going to be a bit of a problem, opening up Polymerization. We do, however, have the Max C, so that means that every time our Fluffle opponent here special summons, we are going to be drawing an additional card, which is just fine. We're going to go into the Cruel Wheel here. Cruel Wheel being 2600 attack points means it's big enough to get over our Bran. Going in the battle phase and attacking here, targeting the Cruel Wheel basically, which means that it gains half the attack points of a card sent to the graveyard, taking out the Bran. Normal summoning Denier before going into Verte Anaconda. Very, very interesting play. Verte Anaconda paying the 2000 life points, summoning out the Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and passing turn with that. So giving our opponent a couple of extra cards here just to make sure we have an interruption. It does not pan out on this occasion. Super Polymerization, ditching the evenly match, summoning out Predaplant Dragostapelia. Now we're going to activate our Shipyard, playing the Red of Aramis here, summoning out an Adventure token to the field with 2000 attack points. We're going to play Black Eyes now, targeting a monster in the graveyard, summoning itself out and returning the Bluebeard back to the hand. Grabbing the Dracoback from the deck, normal summoning the Golden Hair before synchro summoning into Bran. That's going to give us 20,000, 2700, and 25 for game. So maybe playing into the Max C there wasn't the brightest of ideas. Taking the Max C challenge, even just for a few summons, is a death warrant. You want to just avoid it as much as you possibly can, while ending on the cruel wheel still would likely have landed yourself a loss. It was a bit of a lose-lose situation, I'm going to be honest with you, but very, very well played. 2-0 victory here to Seymour Butts. But again, love seeing the variety, love seeing Plunder Patrol, love seeing Fluffle, love seeing all of these cool new decks, and I hope that these duelists continue to work on and refine their strategies more and more. Alright, getting onto our match between Tyson 10 and 6CZ42, and we're going to be seeing a good example of what happens when your opponent simply has the out. And by the out, I mean every out. We're going to be going into the Evil Twin here. Evil Twin reviving a monster from the graveyard. There's the Blue Twin. Just like that, bang. Nibiru field wiped. Nothing you could do about it. That is done. But we're playing a Labyrinth as well. And now this is round 2. This deck actually won game 1. So we know the Live Twins Labyrinth has something going on. But how are you going to compete against Nibiru followed by a Harpy's Feather Duster? That's right. I'm not countering just one of your deck types. I'm countering both of them. Just like that. I'm simply going to draw the one of, right? He's that good at the game. Setting Dogmatic at punishment, not that that matters here. Wiping out the back row, just like that. Board's looking a little bit barren, and against Crusadia, that is not what you like to be seeing here. Ariana getting tributed for the Star Destroyer Kaiju. Magius then coming out. That's going to trigger our Parallel Exceed in hand to summon itself to the field. Then Magius using its effect to search the deck for a Crusadia monster, while the Parallel Exceed summons another Parallel Exceed directly from the deck. That's going to basically get our whole engine moving here. We're going to link summon yet again into Crusadia Regulex. Regulex then is going to search our deck for another Crusadia card. Our Draco then is going to add the Maximus back to our hand. Now we normal summoned the Maximus before, so now we can special summon it should we have an open zone. We're going to grab Crusadia Revival, which is going to basically boost our monsters. We're going to summon out Crusadia Equimax to that zone there. Maximus coming out, doubling the damage that it deals over a monster, swinging into the Kaiju for 14,200 points of damage. Just like that. 2-1 victory to Tyson 10. But again, super well played to both players. That Live Twin Labyrinth strategy is actually really cool. I liked it. I don't know if I would rather play the Labyrinth cards over just a bunch of hand traps, but it's definitely a possibility. I love to see the creativity and originality. 2-1 victory here to Tyson 10. But what are you going to do? Nibiru and Harpy's Feather Duster? Good luck. Already getting into our match between Super Idol and Ace here. It looks like it's going to be Thunder Dragons up against Phantom Knights. Now, Thunder Dragons unfortunately bricking pretty hard, but we do have a couple of interruptions in hand at least. We are going to respond to the trap card here with Maxi. Maxi doesn't have a negate for it on board here, so our Phantom Knights are going to be having to play through the Maxi challenge if they want to generate any momentum. Their Torn Scales is going to get hit with the Psyframe Gamma. They're going to respond to Gamma with a Maxi of their own, but that Maxi is going to be hit with Called by the Grave. Very interesting choice here, trying to hit the Maxi, stopping them from drawing one. I'm pretty sure the Gamma only lets you draw one card, right? It's simultaneous? Yeah. So it only would have been a draw one. I don't know if using Called by the Grave on that was a very wise play, especially considering how much Called by the Grave would have helped in this matchup. We're going to summon a Malicious out from the deck before setting a card and passing. We're going to activate Thunder Dragon Dark during the end phase just to take an extra break out of our deck and fill up the graveyard a little bit. We're going to top deck into a Veiler. We're going to normal summon our Matrix, activating Dark, discarding, adding another Dark to hand. That meets the discard requirement for our Thunder Dragon Colossus, bringing the Colossus out to the board, placing that Floodgate upon the opponent, now summoning out our Thunder Dragon Black Dragon Collapsor, which triggers off the Matrix from the graveyard to add another Matrix to hand. The Black Dragon now adding the White Dragon to the hand, which will now summon out to the field, going into the battle phase, wiping out the field here and attacking directly for 26. So taking an early lead, generating some advantage. We're definitely now at least in control of the game. Our Colossus is locking our opponent out of searching their deck for cards, which is a pretty big deal in this matchup, but not when you can simply top deck into Fusion Destiny like an absolute Chad. We're going to banish our gloves from graveyard, sending Cloak. That's going to trigger our Torn Scales, summoning Torn Scales back to the field. Torn Scales dropping the Fusion Destiny to the graveyard. That's how confident we are. Our Torn Scales, however, is going to be getting hit with that Effect Veiler that we drew last turn. So unfortunately, no payback there, no payoff, but it does get rid of that Veiler, which could otherwise have been a hassle. We're going to steal our opponent's Thunder Dragon Dark, going into the battle phase, wiping out the 2 smaller monsters here, which at the very least is going to help us take control of the board. We do have that face down Fusion Destiny. We're going to link off into our Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardachi, or whatever the hell its name is. We're going to grab Fogblade and pass turn. Fogblade, Droplet, and the Rusty on the field. That's not a bad setup, I'm going to be honest with you. Banishing the Roar and the Colossus, we're going for game here. We're going in the Thunder Dragon Titan. That means you're not messing around anymore. We're going to grab Hawk from deck, tributing Hawk to summon out the Dark. That's going to trigger Hawk to basically mulligan our Gamma back into the deck, grabbing us a Ghost Ogre, which is a fantastic top deck. Our Titan's going to get targeted by Fogblade. We're going to use Matrix, chaining to that Titan's effect to hopefully pop the Fogblade before it takes effect, but not before Fogblade is sent to the graveyard off a Forbidden Droplet, which is going to allow us to negate the Thunder Dragon Titan to then subsequently lower its attack points, but it gets lowered to 2100, which is still big enough to at least crash with Rusty, taking them both out. However, we do have the Fogblade now in the graveyard, which will banish itself to re-summon the Rusty out to the field, which means it is around and staying around. That is too big for the Thunder Dragon Dark to get over, so we are forced to pass turn here basically. During main phase 1, Rusty's going to activate its effect. It's going to get hit with that Ghost Ogre though, and because it was summoned off of Fogblade's effect, it is instead banished instead of going to the graveyard this time. So Rusty is gone and out of the picture, but we are able to send Silent Boots to the graveyard, setting Fogblade. We're going to banish the Ancient Cloak from the grave. That's going to trigger off the Torn Scales in our graveyard, summoning itself back to the field, as well as adding Silent Boots to hand, which we can now special summon. We're going to send Wings to the graveyard, giving us an extra monster reborn before Exceed summoning into the Break Sword popping itself and the Thunder Dragon Dark, getting rid of both. That's going to trigger the Phantom Knights to summon out 2 more of the Phantom Knights from the graveyard, while Dark is going to trigger to search the deck for a Thunder Dragon related card. So again, this is pretty much, it's looking to be drawing to a close here for one side or the other. We're summoning out 2 level 4s here, going into Raiders Knight. Raiders Knight then detaching a material to rank itself up into the Arc Rebellion Exceed Dragon. Arc Rebellion Exceed Dragon's a pretty difficult monster to get rid of, especially when you're still contending with a Fogblade. The Exceed Dragon now generating enough momentum, hopefully to go into game here by summoning out the Break Sword and then activating its effect. It negates the effects of all of our face-up monsters on the field and steals their attack points. However, nothing else you control can attack until the end of the turn, which means we're not going to be able to use the Break Sword to push for lethal, but 5000 damage is definitely a lot and makes this card extremely difficult to get rid of, especially considering it cannot be destroyed by card effects. We're going to go Harpy's Feather Duster here, wiping out the double Fogblade in the back row. That is incredible. Banishing 2 to summon out our Thunder Dragon Duo, adding Thunder Dragon from our deck to our hand, discarding the Thunder Dragon to trigger our Duo's effect to boost itself up to 3100 attack points. That is basically going to give us a little bit more bite here when we take out this Break Sword. That's going to trigger Duo. Duo's going to banish the Harpy's Feather Duster from grave to grab ourselves a Thunder Dragon Roar from the deck, but it's not going to be enough here. Discarding the Roar, grabbing ourselves Colossus back to the extra deck, but again, it's simply not going to be enough. What we potentially could have done is tributed our Duo to summon out Colossus in defense. That would have saved us from this game-ending blow, but there you have it, 5000 damage even over the Thunder Dragon Duo. That was a really explosive match from both sides. That was a 2-0 victory here to Super Idol over Ace. Both matches were pretty unique. Both matches are very, very well played. I wish I could show you both duels, but unfortunately we only have enough time for 1 per match. But that was amazing from both people involved. Both rounds, amazing gameplay. And here we have the final scores then for the culmination of week 3 going into week 4, the final week of season 3 here, where our big prize winners are decided. We can see that the scores at the top half of the table are yet to be set in stone. Anybody basically in that top 6 can claim first prize depending on what happens in this last week here, so it's still all to be played for, and people even lower than that can still claim one of the top 3 spots should they get lucky enough. So it's still all to be played for here. I don't understand how 2 people could get so close in score despite all of the tiebreaker systems that I have in place, but they found a way. These guys are not only good at the game, they're good at breaking my mast down, so fair play to them. But I'm super excited to see who comes out on top, as I'm sure some of you guys following the tournament either in the Discord or just on the channel are as well. It's a pretty cool little thing we're doing, you know. So if you want to get more involved with it, join the Discord. You can hop in whenever you want. Subscribe to the channel to get more updates as they're coming out. We do one of these videos every week whenever the events are running. The next one will be beginning in the middle of April, because I will be away for the beginning of April. But either way, hop in the Discord to learn more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.